Going live. We're now live.
Hey, happy Halloween.
Lit Bitches Halloween
Ooh,
special.
yes.
Work. Whew, okay, well, let's get this poppin'. Hey everyone, and for those who are watching now and those who will catch us in the future, this is the Lit Bitches Halloween party. I am Josephine Baker, and who do I have here with me?
I am a cursed spirit.
Yes, girl, servant of Josephine and Curse Spirit. I am giving you Wednesday Adams on a budget.
You mean grown-up Wednesday Adams who went to Brooklyn and got some style Wednesday Adams?
Yes, Wednesday Adams been making fashion, honey.
I know that's right. You better work. So today, again, it is Halloween. It is, in my opinion, the best holiday of the year. I don't know if y'all would agree, but it is certainly a wonderful
I,
holiday.
I can agree with that. Yeah, I'll give it to Halloween.
Give it up for Halloween. Katrina's
Yeah,
over there like, nope, I can't do it. Won't
yeah.
do it.
I enjoy Halloween. I like getting dressed up and doing the cosplay, but y'all know my holiday is Christmas. But we're not gonna talk about Christmas right now. We're talking about Halloween, so I ain't even gonna go there. We're talking about Halloween. It's Halloween.
Halloween. So we're going to just vibe and talk about all things horror, talk about the types of horror we like, give you some recommendations, things to read, watch, whatever, things not to read and watch, because it wouldn't be us if we didn't give a little judgment here. That sounds bad, but we're the lit bitches after
Yeah,
all.
we gotta tell the truth.
Yes. So I guess let's start with what type of horror do you normally gravitate towards? Like when you go to get a book or to watch something, what's the type of horror that you like to consume?
I, I, I would say I'm more of a psychological horror kind of person. And I think you asked this question once on your page, and I also said, those movies where it's like the place itself is evil, or like
Mm-hmm.
there's something going on with the building itself, kind of like The Shining. So
Mm-hmm.
those are my two main types of horror. But I'll watch anything honestly, or read.
Yeah. What about you, Katrina?
Pretty much same. I like a psychological horror. I might could do something that's a little gory.
Yeah.
Um, I could get through the gore. I'm gonna save what I don't like, but mostly psychological thrillers. So I enjoy The Shining, the movie. Even though I read the book recently, and I was like, it wasn't as scary as I hoped it was gonna be. But it was still good. But yeah, no, I could dig the psychological thrillers. Yeah. How
Mm.
about you, girl?
Sheena over here says same. Hey, Sheena. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm all about supernatural. I love a good, give me a good possession tale, give me a
Mm.
good haunted house situation, give me a
Possession.
good, like vampire, werewolf, supernatural moment. That's what I live for.
Yeah.
Um, and then I also too like psychological thrillers as well. Uh, yeah, those and slasher is probably number three for me. I do
Oh
love a
yeah.
good
That's a
slasher.
good
Yeah.
one. I could do a
Yeah.
good slasher. Like I like the Freddys and the Jasons. I like those. And since we're counting vampires and werewolves and stuff, I like those too. Okay, maybe I like horror a little more than I thought I did. But yeah, no,
Yes.
I like the vampires and the werewolves. Like I watched Dracula probably like 100 times, and it just gets me every time. I'm just like, oh, this movie.
It's such a
I've
good
been
movie.
I've been meaning to read Dracula for a while now, but
Yeah.
I just have not gotten to it. But I do want to read it. I don't think I've ever seen the movie.
The movie is
Really.
really
Yeah.
good.
It's really
Yes.
good. Yeah. Definitely Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder's accents
Oh
in
well,
that
you
movie are choices.
you've said enough. You had me at Keanu Reeves. So
Yes. Yes. So what type of horror are you not here for? What's something that you are just automatically like, nope, and turning the other way?
Possessions, demonic stuff. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, no,
Okay.
no, no, no. I will be praying at night. Lord protect me. Like, no possessions, no demonic things. Really quickly, I hope she doesn't mind me mentioning this, but I was beta reading my good friend Arietta Charles, her whip, and it's like a paranormal thriller drama. And she had
Mm.
these two sentences that stuck with me, and it was about these characters of going inside of a house, and the way she described like there was basically like a soul who didn't belong in the girl. I left a note. I was like, girl, this is scary. This was good. And it was literally just two sentences, but she did it so well. I hope she don't mind. All right, don't kill me. But yeah, no. So I don't like that. I don't like nothing demonic. I don't like nothing. Nope, nope. But how about y'all?
Like,
uh,
here's my thing is like when it comes to possession movies, like The Exorcism of Emily Rose and those kinds of movies,
Oh,
I'm going to watch it, but I'm going to be traumatized for 3 months afterwards. So
yes.
so it's not like my go-to genre of movie. Like I first of all, I'm never gonna watch one alone, but like I don't know if like yeah, I watched The Conjuring.
Hmm.
mm.
The it was the third one. I think I watched it in the theater with my friends, and I came home. Like I came back to my dorm, and I did not sleep. I just
Yeah.
put on the light and watched The Big Bang Theory until I saw the sun come up because I was like, nope, the nun is not coming for me.
Oh my goodness, y'all! It's funny because, like I said, those are some of my favorite types.
Yeah.
I think I like the fact it's fascinating for me because you do get that historical moment of
Mhm.
what kind of demon is it and what kind of this is that.
Mm.
Um, I would say I don't like body horror. So we're talking The
Uh,
Fly, we're talking Human Centipede, we're talking
Oh.
Saw to a certain extent.
mhm.
I
Mhm.
don't really do those things, and it's sad because I am a huge Jeff Goldblum stan. Like I love him. I think he's hot. I think he's hot in The Fly until
Uh,
he's not. You know?
mhm.
So it just gets me because it's like torn. Don't watch your demon possession movies. I've seen enough paranormal movies.
I'm with you. I but strange thing is I used to love the Conjuring films. Like I went to the
Mm.
movies. I saw the first two Conjurings in the movies. I saw the Nun in the movies. What else did I see? I saw Paranormal Activity in the movies. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I thought I was getting on some like the horror roller coaster, but I can't do it no more. I'm like watching through my fingers. Nope. Mm-mm.
I saw The Conjuring in theaters by myself.
Ooh.
I couldn't get nobody to go with me. The first one by myself, and I saw it in the daytime. Right, it was like
Uh-huh.
a 2 p.m. showing. So I just went shopping after. I just went and did my grocery shopping in Target. I strategically did my day so that after it was not night and then I had shit to
Yeah.
do after. So I could just,
You could think about
okay,
something else.
I got to get bras now. Like, let's focus on this, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That's usually how I'll do it if I'm knowing that I might see a movie that might get me get to
Yeah.
me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually home with like SpongeBob or Avatar or something on afterwards so I can be
Same.
happy again.
SpongeBob. You know, as an aside, one of these days when I actually go to a Halloween party, swear I'm gonna do the Patrick with the shorts and the
Oh my
fishnets
god,
and the
Oh
boots.
please.
my gosh.
I
Please.
have been wanting to do that, and I thought, okay, we're doing the shows, we're sitting down, but
Uh-huh.
one of these days, y'all, you mark my words, you're gonna just see me standing there,
I'm gonna be
just
ready.
in my
Full
boots.
fishnets and boots.
I can't
I,
wait.
I love that.
So we talked about the kind of horror we like and don't like. So what is something recently that you saw or read that you enjoyed? What kind of horror? Anything recently?
Mhm.
Mm, and then I think the last horror movie I watched, I think was The Ritual.
Mm.
Because I was asking for suggestions of movies to watch, and a lot of people told me to check that one out.
Oh,
And I've seen like
mm.
the like
Mhm.
film
I agree with
theory
it.
version. Oh
In
yeah,
terms of Hoodoo,
yeah,
Voodoo,
yeah,
yeah, I think we're all like,
Yeah.
yeah,
yes.
definitely. But yeah, the ritual was it was. It didn't scare me as much as I thought it was going to, but I don't know
Mhm.
if it's because like I've watched like the film theory version of it on YouTube. But it was a good movie. I'll
It
give
was
it
a good
that.
one.
It's
I
really
liked it.
good.
I liked it. I also like when you have a horror and you have the characters that are just not here for each other.
Mhm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like because all of the friends were just fighting. It adds to the tension of a thing
Mm-hmm.
instead of you have a group of people who are all just like chipper and getting along, and
Mm-hmm.
then suddenly we have some recommendations here. Horror
Ooh,
Noir on Shutter
Ooh.
and Night Teeth on Netflix.
I did watch Night Teeth.
was
I
So
it good?
I thought
what
it
did
was
you think of
cute.
that?
It was cute. It wasn't scary. It was more like a. It wasn't coming of age either. I'm trying to describe it. It was just like an urban tale. It was good. It was good. It's watchable. Um, but it's horror in the sense that it's about vampires and things like that. I didn't find it scary though. But I hadn't really watched anything too scary lately. The last thing I think I saw was this show on Netflix. I mean, not Netflix, Hulu. It's called Monsterland. And
Mm,
the second episode was like really freaky because it was like this guy. He was like a gamer, and his mom was sick, and he would like sit in the dark and type on his computer and play games all the time. And then all of a sudden, like there's this shadow behind him that like stands up. Yes, that yeah. Second episode was very creepy. But horror movies I hadn't watched. I haven't watched anything horror recently. I wanted to watch Candyman, but I never got around to it.
Ooh, the Candyman is the new Candyman
It
is
was good.
it's really good. Yeah,
I need to watch it too.
it like the original is still better, but
Mhm.
this one was amazing.
It did
Like
a good
the
job.
yeah
Maybe we can have like a lit bitches watch party because I haven't seen it too, so I'd be down
yeah
to
That
watch
would
it
be
with
yeah.
fun. I'm down for
you.
that. That way I don't
So
have
we
to be
have some
scared by
Rex.
myself.
Midnight Mass is good. Now Midnight Mass, y'all. I this is gonna be my Rex. This show, the way this show got me, it was so good. Interesting take on vampires. The
Mhm.
only downside
Ooh. Mhm.
is that it's written in I likened it a little bit to like a Shakespeare play, you know, where all the characters have a monologue and it's just
Mhm.
this long existential monologue half the time. So if you don't mind characters giving you a lot of just
Mhm.
meat where each person has a huge monologue, then I highly recommend it. It's very
Mhm.
inventive. We have
Okay.
Skeleton Key. That's one of
That
my
was creepy.
go-tos.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
Yeah, that was.
And
I've
then
never
can't wait
heard
to
of
watch
that
this for
one.
Midnight Mass.
Skeleton Key
Skeleton
is
Key.
good.
I'll
It's
add it
good.
to my list.
Yeah, it's Kate Hudson. She's like an
Mhm.
in-home care nurse and goes to care for she's in Louisiana and she goes to care for this older elderly man and his wife is there and she's
Mm.
kind of cold, if you will.
Mhm.
And yeah, then creepy stuff happens. And of course you
Okay.
have, you know, the token black friend who's like, "Girl,
Yeah.
you in danger. You need to leave." And of course you don't listen because, you know, the way
Yeah.
Danger
movie is.
girl.
So I think this is in reference to Midnight Mass. Yes, it reminded me of Shakespeare in Nollywood with a dialect.
Oh.
Yes. Yes, but it's definitely good. I just recently finished listening to Clown in a Cornfield,
Oh,
Mm.
that sounds
and
scary.
it's a teen
Right.
slasher book.
Mhm.
So that's definitely something I would recommend listening to or reading. I listen to audiobook. But
Uh-huh.
it's basically like a small town. All the adults decide that the teenagers ain't shit and they're just gonna start over.
Uh,
And by starting over, they decide to kill them, all the
oh wow.
teenagers in this town.
Mhm.
And so it's a group of adults. And I imagine like the sheriff of the town and the doctor
Mhm.
and your science teacher and your stepfather and
Mhm.
all of these people colluding to kill these teens. And then it all happens one night at a teen party at this barn because this is Nebraska, right? So there's shit happening in a cornfield because why not? And so it was really good. I liked it for sure, and it's already been optioned for movies. So,
Wow.
Okay.
hmm
Okay, I might check that out. What's it called?
Clown in a Cornfield.
Clown in a cornfield. Okay. You know
Hmm.
I'm a chicken. It's not too scared. It's a slasher. I might be able to get through because it's slasher. It's not anything gruesome
Yeah,
or anything.
it's it's slasher, and it is the tension's there, but it's also like, you have a good final girl.
Uh huh.
Mhm.
And I will say, and this is something else we can talk about in this conversation about final girls and some of the horror tropes we like and don't like.
Mhm.
But I did appreciate that this chick, she didn't trip once over anything she didn't need to trip over. She wasn't running around screaming in the middle of the night. She
Right.
had a weapon. She held on to it when somebody took it. She was like, "That is mine, and you
Uh
need to give
huh.
it back to me." So it definitely felt like she responded the way that you should be
Should.
responding.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We have some comments here. A black vampire horror
Oh
short on YouTube
wow.
called Suicide by Sunlight. It's pretty good too. Okay, I need a
I love all these Rex read,
note.
love, listen.
Right?
Yes, I am loving this. And then she did coming through Zombie Autopsies by Steven Schlossman was entertaining. See, okay, so by the time this is done, everybody, we're gonna have a list
Right.
Yeah.
of Rex for
Yeah.
everybody, which is partially what we wanted for the show, is to have a list of Rex that we can
Mhm.
all continue the horror because you know, horror isn't just October. So Bad Witch Burning, I have heard of this.
Mhm.
And it's on my list to read. It might just be moving up my list, being honest. Um, let's see some other Rex
I heard
that
Within
I've
These
enjoyed.
Wicked Walls was pretty good.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Mhm.
It's
I was
on.
like, I'm
I've
a little scared, but okay. I'm gonna take the wreck.
been wanting to read it. I would say if you haven't seen it, Haunting of Hill House is
Ooh,
really
yeah.
so
Yeah.
great.
I've never
I
seen that.
I haven't finished it yet, but literally just the first few episodes had me on the edge of my seat, and it was really good.
Is this
So
on Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
it's on Netflix. It's a haunted house. So
Hmm.
it's a haunted house. There's ghosts, but it's also as much about the haunting as it is about this family coming apart at the
Yeah.
seams and the trauma
Oh
that they
wow.
experience because
Hmm.
of the haunting.
Yeah.
And I especially enjoyed it as the youngest of six,
Hmm.
having
Mm.
five other fucking numpties in my house having to deal with. I related to a lot of the conflict and the drama because it's like, oh, I could see this happening
Yeah.
to us if this kind of trauma happened. So I appreciate that the relationships between them felt authentic as somebody who comes from a big family.
Mm. Yeah.
Then I would probably get to the. I too am the youngest, so that might be something I would enjoy.
Yeah, you'll be watching it like, now, see, and you'll call your sibling like, see, I knew you would react like that. That's what you would do.
You're
I
this
I
character.
I heard that the it's not really a sequel, but like the Haunting of Bly Manor. I heard it wasn't as scary as Hill House. I haven't checked out that one, but I the reviews weren't as good.
I would say it's worth watching because the
Mhm.
acting is really great. The setting is good as well. It's definitely not as scary. There is a scene or an episode where the housekeeper it's centering around her story, and the actress's name I think is like, I don't remember her name, but the character is Hannah Gross. And that episode is just wonderful. It's heartbreaking. It's such good acting that it's worth watching just for that episode alone.
Mhm.
Um, it's not scary, but it's atmospheric. So if you want a little atmosphere, then we got some agreement here. It wasn't.
It wasn't. Also, I lied. I did watch it. If this is considered horror, was the third Wednesday. I watched The Bad Seed. That is just a really good movie. I was like, I forgot how good this movie is. That little girl was bad as hell.
Yes. Did you watch the original, right? The
Yes,
black and white one? Okay.
yes.
Cuz
And
I
I
feel
felt
like they
so
remade it
bad.
with Rob
Mhm.
Lowe or some shit
Yeah.
recently.
That's another one
Yeah.
I'm gonna put on my list. I always find the movies with like the evil kids where like there's like just one evil murderous child. I find those interesting, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
check that
that
out.
you'll enjoy. That is a good. And the acting is just amazing. I was watching like, oh my god, they're acting their asses off. Like it
Mhm.
was. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. So horror noir is definitely something I want to check out. The it's like a 6-part show on Shudder,
Hmm.
and a lot of people who were I think in the show are people who were in the horror noir documentary that's also on Shudder, which is talking about the role of Black people in horror
Yeah.
film, books, whatever.
Hmm.
So y'all, if you haven't seen that, I would also add that to your list. It's not
Yeah.
scary, but it's talking about
Mm.
Hmm.
horror and Black people's role in it.
Yeah.
So recommend that as well. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of anything else more recently that I've seen because I rewatched the Conjuring movies. I rewatched Insidious. I rewatched The Exorcist.
Insidious is scary, girl. I haven't seen that in a minute, and I don't want to. That is so scary. I think I might try to rewatch though. Does Get Out count? That's a horror.
Mhm.
Yeah,
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 I'm gonna try to.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try
yeah,
to watch that tonight. First, I was like, I'm gonna be boring and just you go ahead. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be boring and like watch Twilight or something. But I was like, wait a minute, no, there's Get Out, there's Us. There's some movies that I could get through.
yeah.
Mhm.
But you know what I watched that it didn't give what it gave several years ago. I guess it's because I watched it first as a child, but the
Mhm.
Chucky movie,
Oh
I
yeah,
was like, okay, this isn't that scary. But you know, as a child watching it, it was like, okay, throw away all my dolls now.
You know, there's a TV show.
Yeah, I started watching it. It's
is it
Me
good?
too. I like it.
uh,
I liked it for what it is. It's not.
Hmm.
it, it doesn't take itself seriously. I can
Yeah,
say
it's
that.
it's in the campy,
Ah,
aspect
okay.
of horror. So if you
Uh,
like things that are more campy and it's not necessarily horror, and also it's the kind of show that will have you talking to the show. Because
Yes,
I was watching it and I was like, this fucking bitch. Sorry, I'm over here cussing, but I was
this
like,
this one specific scene. I'm
oh
sorry,
goodness.
spoilers if like anyone in the comments or is watching it, but there's a scene where Chucky is going to kill the housekeeper,
Uh-huh.
and she's in the kitchen washing the dishes, and she pulls open the dishwasher, and she set all the knives blade pointing up, and that was one of those moments where I just screamed. That I was like, what the hell, like why, why
Yeah,
would you do that? And you know what, she died because like Chucky,
he died
not to blame
because of
her for
it.
her own death, but Chucky pushed her and she landed on the knives, and I was just like, really?
yeah, and I mean, another spoiler of how messed up the show is, but not necessarily from a horror perspective, is our main character is a young queer kid. His father is abusive. His
Mhm.
father dies. Chucky essentially kills his father. In
Mm,
this show, Chucky's kind of acting as this kid's avenging angel to a certain
mhm.
extent, and so the father was abusive to the kid, and so Chucky's like, obviously, would give me an excuse to kill. So the dad electrocutes himself, right? That's
Mhm.
how he dies. Now tell me why. So they have this Halloween party, and the mean girl of the
Oh,
school. This is fully
Look
spoiler, so if
at
you want
Kylie
to hear it,
stressed already.
you know the mean girl of the school
Mhm.
dresses up as this kid's dad being
Ooh.
electrocuted and does a whole show, like a whole thing
Oh
with
wow.
the whole school, everybody there watching her doing the whole,
Like an
shaking and all that
act.
stuff as if she's being electrocuted.
Wow.
And her boyfriend is the cousin of the guy whose dad killed. So her boyfriend's uncle is the one who died this way. So not
Yeah.
only is she doing that against the kids she don't like,
Kids,
but
it's also
also her
her
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
I saw
What?
that and I was like, the way I would have gotten Chucky so fast, I would have been like, hey, I can't even tell you no.
That just
right.
brings something up for me. Like, am I the only one who watches a scary movie and like, but like puts yourself in the position of the main character? Like, I will beat Chucky the fuck up. Or like when Freddie was like in the dreams, you be like, I wish Freddie would come in my
Yeah.
dream. Oh my, you don't know how many times I'm like, I will beat his fucking ass if
just
he played him.
just catch you squaring up with Jason Voorhees.
And that's your story the next time we get together. We're like, oh, how was your Halloween, girl? Well, girl, you know what happened to me. We got off the line and Jason was
Right.
standing in my doorway.
Oh, we got some trick or treaters.
I beat the shit out of him.
They took all the candy. Yay, that makes me happy. We got some trick or treaters. They took all the
Yay.
candy in our bowl.
So we have another recommendation. American Horror Story has creepy
Yes.
moments depending on the season.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. And now we also have somebody who's on your tip, Katrina. You better not come over here with that. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yes. Hey,
What?
Keidra. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, girl. Hey.
You know, that's funny. So that actually brings to mind some of the different, tropes in the horror genre. Because I think, we talk a lot about like enemies to lovers trope and fantasy tropes, but what about some horror tropes? What are some tropes we like? What are ones that are maybe need to be revamped? I don't necessarily want to say that we hate unless it's I don't necessarily think it's a hate unless it's a trope that is just not constructive. Like to me, the magical black character saving the white people is
Yeah.
tired and I'm done. We need to
The
not,
magical Negro.
you know.
Yeah.
But but I think a lot of other tropes can be rehabbed and done better. So what are some you like? What are some you don't like?
I don't know if this is a trope or not, but what really gets me pissed off, particularly in film, when the couple is just like going at it like rabbits having sex, and they don't hear the killer like coming up the steps, opening the door. Like you don't hear anything. Like I hear when someone parks outside my house, let alone coming in my door,
Mhm.
walking up my steps. Like
Yeah.
I hate that. I'm just sitting there like they're both gonna die. They're both ordered in the girl. She's laying there naked. Ah, and all the blood.
Yeah. Listen, I feel you because look, I got some squirrels in my neighborhood that just I hear them running on my roof because I'm in a carriage
Yes.
house, running on my roof, jumping on the fence of my next door neighbor, and then jumping in a tree. I hear that every detail, every moment. So I would for
Yeah.
sure hear somebody
Yeah.
Come in your house.
opening the door.
Open up. Go up your steps because you know all of our steps got that little creaking and that. You
Mhm.
know when somebody's walking up your steps. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, that's one that I particularly am very annoyed by.
It just grinds your gears.
It does.
I would say the we're in the middle of a dangerous moment and you suddenly decide to apologize or
Oh
tell
my
me
god.
how
Yes.
Yes.
you feel about something.
Yeah.
Every time I am always like, we don't have time for this, baby. We don't baby, shut up. Tell me later. I don't need you to
Right.
come and tell me I'm sorry that I told you I didn't like your hair the other night. Like, girl,
I'm actually so in love with you, and I couldn't wait another moment to tell you. Like
if
this
we
last
die right
time
now,
like this.
well, we won't die if you stop delaying us.
Oh goodness. How about you, Kyla?
So I'm not sure how to explain the trope, but I can explain like how they subverted that trope in what was it? I was watching A Silent Place Part
Mm-hmm.
2, and I just love the moment in the beginning of the movie when the alien invasion is like just starting, shit's hitting the fan,
Hmm.
people are dying, and the dad like sees an alien and he does not pause, he does not miss a beat, he doesn't stop to like stare at it and go, oh my god, what the hell is that? He literally just does a complete 180 and runs in the other
Gone.
direction, and I was like, yes, this that is how you do it. Like,
Yeah.
don't
Yes.
just stand there like, oh my god,
And awe and
in
shock.
awe, like just
We
just
have
get
an
out of
alien
there.
here. I don't like it when they ignore the elderly minorities warning about an indigent. Yes, this is
Mhm.
another one too
Mhm.
that I'm not here for. I think, having your women characters trip for no reason, having them
Yeah.
running and screaming, having
Mhm.
them hiding in the worst places,
Mhm.
you know, why every single scene with them being attacked they have to be scantily clad and
Glad.
shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate that. This one, I hate when they're trying to get help from a cop and the cop gets killed by a
Yes.
villain. That makes me think of I Know What You Did Last Summer with yeah, that one. Or
The,
when
in
the
the
cops
90s.
don't listen.
Mhm.
When you have a screaming woman standing in front of you or anybody and the cops like, okay, and then they
Yeah.
get killed and it's like
Yes.
Yeah.
it just feels like all of these exist in a vacuum where no horror movies exist.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like
Yeah.
you've never seen Scream, you've never seen a slasher film, like you don't think that this is possible. So I am waiting for more another like something like Scream that took that where you have
Mhm.
the character who's like, don't say you'll be right back, because that's a kiss of death. Waiting
Exactly.
for that.
They do that in Candyman, the new Candyman. Like that
Mm,
that's what I really liked about it.
mm,
Like the characters were smart.
I
mm. Okay. This is
have to
that more
watch
reason to
it. Oh
watch
my
it.
gosh.
Yeah.
We should definitely do a watch party because I'm here for that. Y'all,
Yeah.
if you wanna,
I am
if
too.
you're tuning in, let's do it. So, what are something that we like when it comes to horror? What tropes or things that we like? Because I could keep talking about things I don't like.
Yeah. What do I like? Huh.
Like I've always it's easy to think about like the tropes that you don't like, but then you're like, okay, so what do I enjoy the most?
I know. So for the longest time, I always said The Conjuring was like outside of the classics like Scream, because Scream is one of my favorites too. The
Mhm.
Conjuring has been like one of my favorite horror films. And I think it was because they had the element of it being like that touch of like realism, like did this happen in real life? Could this really happen? You know, they often dealt with families. They themselves were a family. And then there was this like other like scary ass side to what was going on that freaked me out. So yeah, no, I think like that out because you want horror to scare you. Like I'm not watching horror for kicks and giggles. Like
Mhm.
I wanted to freak me the fuck out. So I'm going to say when it has that ounce of like, especially in the beginning when it says like based on a true story, and I'm just like, oh, it gives me the chills and I get
Yeah.
all excited like, oh my god, this was real. Um, but yeah, I think The Conjuring has done it very well. I'm not sure about the latest one. I heard mixed reviews about it and I hadn't watched it yet. Um,
Girl,
based
I got a whole review on my channel of it. If you wanna learn, I have a whole review on my
uh,
channel of the third Conjuring.
it was
I didn't like it.
disappointing.
I didn't like it.
Uh,
It's definitely not as scary as the other two. So
yeah.
if that's something that you want a horror film that isn't as scary as the other two, but
Mhm.
you want to be entertained, cool. But there was just so much that
Oh
I didn't
wow.
enjoy about it. That does it for me too. A true story.
Mhm.
For me, I really enjoy the like the badass final girl.
Mhm.
Mhm.
As I say that, the one movie that pops into my head is Your Next. It's a slasher.
I
Oh
remember
yeah.
That you've
that.
seen it? You've seen
Mhm.
it?
Yes.
I love like I don't like what happened to her in the end of the movie, but I love the fact that she wasn't completely helpless, like
Mhm.
she was actually fighting back and she was smart about setting traps and that kind of stuff. So
This
that's
is
definitely for me.
disappointed with the Conjuring 3, I believe.
Yeah.
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 I like the final girl too. I like the scene where we're finding out the history. Cause I don't know. I know if done wrong, it could be just a huge exposition moment and info
Mhm.
dump. But I do like that moment where we find out the history of the haunted, this, that, or the other. That's partially why I watch shows like BuzzFeed Unsolved and whatnot when
Oh
they give you
yeah.
like the history of
Yeah.
things. So
You might like BuzzFeed Unsolved, Katrina. It's not. they add humor, so it's not
So good.
scary.
Okay, I was about to say they're a little too real.
I like when mundane things are the cause of horror, like antiques and family heirlooms. I love the
Mhm.
person. Oh, that's a good one,
I like
Sheena.
that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, BuzzFeed Unsolved, I guess, is another recommendation. It's definitely, I'd say, more in the horror comedy
Hmm.
situation. They talk about different haunted places, and they also have true crime. And it's just two dudes that go around trying to, one's a believer, the other one's a skeptic, trying to figure out if
I
ghosts exist.
I just watched the most hilarious. I was telling my sister about it. In the latest episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved, they're in.
Oh, the
I don't.
Gettysburg one?
Yeah, the Gettysburg episode.
Yeah.
They're in the house and they're in the basement, and Ryan is like, okay, so this basement is known for, like, there's a door here in the basement and there's a cross painted on the door,
Hmm.
and he's like, yeah, it was painted by what's the name of the lady from The Conjuring?
Lorraine
Uh,
Warren.
Lorraine Warren. Like, she painted it, that cross there, because it's supposedly sealing something inside this room. And Shane's like, "Oh, we should check it out." And he opens he opens the door. I just found that so hilarious. Like, he did not
That
care. And
is
then
He
enough
does
for a
not.
fight in my book.
He just
That
does
is a
not
fight.
care. It's so funny because he's so much of a skeptic that they'll something will happen, the light switch will turn on or whatever, and Ryan will freak out and he's like, "Yeah, well, light bulb, light flashlights turn themselves off and on all the time." And then they'll go
Oh
into these haunted places by themselves, and Shane will continuously taunt them. So one of his most famous lines is, "Hey demons, it's your boy, Shane. It's me, your boy."
yeah. Uh-uh.
So it's so funny. You can find it on YouTube. It's funny.
It's
It's
called BuzzFeed Unsolved.
yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yes, definitely. I like so to Sheena's point about mundane things being the cause of horror. I like that the antiques and the family heirlooms. Definitely like it when it's I to a certain extent like a haunted land, but I definitely think a trope I'm tired of is the Indian burial ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is definitely something that should be retired, but
Overdone.
I do
Yeah.
like something wild happened here and the house is no longer here, but that energy is still there.
Yeah.
Um, I can dig that.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, most of my horror recs would probably be like Stephen King books and movies, because that's where, like, I got my start in horror.
Mhm.
And
Hmm.
I'm not even sure what, like, genre of horror like his stuff would come under, but that's like my go-to, like It and Gerald's Game. I don't know if you guys have seen that one.
Yeah.
Mm,
I think that's kind of
I've seen it.
psychological. It's literally this woman stuck in a cabin by herself, handcuffed to the bed because um her and her husband were getting freaky, and he ended up getting a heart attack and dying. So she's
Oh.
left stuck to the bed, and like, it's literally her versus her own mind,
Oh
which is
wow.
really, really, really interesting.
Yeah, I would say so. I like a good horror comedy. So
Mhm.
Cabin in the Woods is one of my favorite
Mhm.
movies. I've
Yeah.
rewatched it often. Anything by Grady Hendrix, the author, I love all his books. My Best Friend's Exorcism is great. Horror Store, I really enjoyed. I just finished the Final Girl Support Group, which is his newest book.
Mm.
Which again, if we're talking Final Girls, is such. I devoured that book. It was such a great book, and the woman who narrated the audiobook was in uh, Friday the 13th too. She was the redheaded woman who,
Oh, that's
that iconic
cool.
scene where the woman's in the lake and she's,
Mhm.
and then the Jason comes up behind her and grabs her and brings
Yeah.
her into the lake.
Mm.
She narrated that book.
Oh wow.
So it's like iconic because you have this iconic horror woman,
Hmm.
narrating his
Yeah.
book. So I highly recommend those books by him. And then we have some from Sheena. So Lore, Royal Blood, Aaron Mankey, a really good podcast. Yeah, they're pretty good. Horror atmospheric there. Another good podcast is Old Gods of Appalachia. Have y'all heard of this?
Oh no, I have
No,
not.
I have
That sounds
not.
interesting.
Okay, so this is a podcast. Each episode's like 15, 20 minutes long, right? But it's a story. and
Mhm.
it's about this small mining town in the Appalachian Mountains, and the mine collapses and evil starts to happen, right? Like whatever had been in the mine comes out and then starts wreaking havoc on the town or whatever. It's so good. It's very well written, and the narrator uh, has the perfect voice for it. Yes, that's what we did this for.
Yes.
Yes, Deidre, we wanted everybody to come to leave the show with a bunch of notes on some recs. But I definitely highly recommend Old Gods of Appalachia. The guy has such a like strong,
Mhm.
deep Southern voice. It lends itself very well to this. So good. Yes.
I have some things that I might check out. Okay. Y'all are pulling me into the horror genre. I was very like, I remember being a kid and I never wanted to be anything scary for Halloween. I was like, Mommy, I want to be a princess. Oh, one year I can remember I was Bubbles for Halloween,
Hmm.
and the
Oh,
mask was like her two big blue eyes. It was crazy. That itself might have been a horror show, but yeah, no, these things they sound great. I'm gonna really check some of these out.
Hmm. Absolutely. So I think what is something that scares you personally? That if you would be your own personal horror movie, like when I was a kid, I did Bloody Mary
Hmm.
mm-hmm,
with some of my friends at
Yeah.
school because my elementary school was a round building, and
mm-hmm,
so the bathroom, the second grade bathroom at the other side of the building, when the sun would start setting, it would just be completely dark in the
Hmm.
bathroom with the lights out. So a bunch of us went in. We were like fifth graders, sixth graders, went and did Bloody Mary in the bathroom. Obviously, nothing happened, and we
Right.
were all freaking each other out. And because of that group thing, we were all, oh my God, something really did happen because we were
Uh-huh.
spurring each other on. But that was definitely something that scared me. So
mm-hmm.
what is something that personally like freaks you out to your core that has nothing to do with movie or anything?
Crazy people.
Oh my god.
Literally, like if someone looks as if like they've absolutely lost their mind, like it freaks me out. I'm just like, "Woo," like what demons are you fighting? Like keep that over there. Like I don't know what's going on. We need help. Somebody dial 911. Like I don't want to see anyone lose their marbles. So to me, that's freaky. And
Yeah,
the dark. I'm 26 and I'm still afraid of the dark. I'm not so fond of the dark. So
that
don't take
that's
me any
that's
dark
fair.
places.
For for me, we grew up with a lot of like folklore,
Mm,
like made to like kind of scare us into behaving, and
Hmm.
I actually like okay, like you get older and you don't really believe in the folklore anymore. But I had the most terrifying experience a few months ago. If I can tell
Oh.
you guys the story, it
Amanda's ready. She said, "Ooh."
I have already put it in the back of my mind because it was so scary. So there's this one specific folklore from Central America. It's called El Cadejo, and it's a
Mhm,
story. It's basically a story about a dog, a big um white or black dog that's like
mhm,
a spirit. If it's the white one, I think if you encounter it, it provides you protection. If it's the black one, then it's supposedly gonna kill you.
mm,
Um, I have a puppy, and when she was younger, she would wake me up literally at the ass crack of dawn before the sun has
not
even
the
come
ass
up
crack.
to go outside and use the bathroom. And like one night, she woke me up at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. It's dark outside. In my yard, like my backyard has like no light, and there's like a little creek at the back,
Mhm,
and I'm outside with my dog. She's taking too long to use the bathroom, and then suddenly, oh, and the main thing with El Cadejo is that it, it's nearby because it carries a really long chain with it, so you can hear
mm.
the chain dragging on
Hmm.
the street. Now, keep in mind, this entire time, I am Shane from BuzzFeed Unsolved. I am a skeptic. I do not believe in these things. But Luna is using the bathroom, and all of a sudden, I hear chains making noise off in the distance, and I am just like,
Oh my
holy
goodness.
shit, what the hell is happening? And I just proceeded to pick up my dog mid pee, and I just ran inside.
Maybe.
Oh no.
And I'm inside the house, and I can hear like chains outside, like in my yard, like right where I was, like mere minutes ago. And
Oh my
the
gosh.
all the dogs on my street are barking. I am shaking in my boots with my dog in my hand. My mom gets up too because she heard the dogs barking, and I'm like, oh my god, like what the hell is that? Eventually, the chain stopped, and then like my mom went to like look outside, and she's like, oh, I didn't see anything. All I saw was a black dog running away, and I was just like, oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh.
I went into full existential crisis mode.
Girl, I'm
Like,
like scared right now.
Yeah, what?
I was terrified for like a week. Like that sent me like to this
Mm.
day.
Oh my goodness.
It was I like I've already like turned it into logic inside my head, but still like talking about it, it was so terrifying.
Yeah, that's
Wow. I
scary.
can't
Yeah,
imagine.
I don't play with folklore,
Mm-mm.
but yeah.
So I had a, I guess we can move into our core story segment. I had I have sleep paralysis. So something I don't really talk about is I get sleep paralysis pretty frequently, especially if I'm really stressed.
Mhm.
Usually what happens is I am laying on my side and I feel like the edge of the bed is shaking. Now this can be explained if you're sleeping in a bed with somebody because it's like, oh well, they're moving around.
Right.
But the first time I distinctly remember having it, um, I was laying on my side. I was in bed by myself, and my dog was sleeping on the ground next to the bed, on her bed. And so I'm laying there, my back is to her, and I feel the bed shaking. So I'm thinking,
Mm.
okay, she's jumping up because she has to go, but I can't move
Mm.
because I'm sleep paralysis. So
Yeah.
I can't even move. All I can do is feel the shaking of the bed. So I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. You know, she's not barking. She's completely silent. So then I
Mhm.
started thinking, okay, she's not making noise, which means there's nobody in here. I'm alone.
Mhm.
The very next time I had sleep paralysis, I was laying on my back, and at this time I lived alone. I had the hall light on and then the door open. So when my dog would go downstairs, go out to the doggy door, do their business, come back up,
Mhm.
I wouldn't get freaked out at the sight of something dark running into my freaking bedroom. Right?
Mhm.
So the hall light's on, and I look up, and there's somebody standing in the doorway.
Nah.
In Now, this is a sleep paralysis, so that hallucinations do happen. So I'm laying there, and I'm trying to look around, and my dog is asleep. If I was to die, wouldn't even know, right? Some protector. Then suddenly this person is right next to me, and you know when you are like somebody's you're trying to see if somebody's awake or something, so you wave your hand in front of their face.
Mhm.
So that happens where I see this like dark figure doing that to me, waving their hand in front of my face as if to be like, "Are you awake?" And then I hear this really deep voice saying some gibberish, and then I woke up. The hall light was off. My dog was sleeping still on the ground, just like having their own nightmares or whatever. And then I'm awake, and I'm just like, well, time for some coffee because I'm not
Yeah,
sleeping for the rest of the
yeah,
night. So that's probably
That's
one of the
so
scariest things that's
scary.
happened to me. And since then, my paralysis has been mostly more of the first thing where it feels like the bed
Mhm.
is shaking. But I mean, I'm married, I have a husband, so of course
Yeah.
it's probably him, you know. Um, let's see, we have some. I used to have sleep paralysis in my childhood home. I don't know what stopped it besides moving. I also, so the shadow people, there actually is a documentary on Netflix about sleep paralysis, and it is creepy because it talks about the neurological aspect of it, but some people believe that it's not like a can be explained away by your brain, that maybe there's something more. So I guess that's another rec is the sleep paralysis documentary in Netflix. I think it's called not Sweet Dreams, something Dreams. No. A real horror for me was living in Hawaii when the missile alert happened. I was
Oh, I
like,
just read about that.
ooh.
Yeah, that is really scary. Do you guys know that situation?
Did that happen recently?
It happened, I think I want to say like a few years ago.
Mm.
Um, Not super recently, but not too far in the past either. Um, it was just like this accidental missile alert
Oh my
that went
god.
out to everyone in the state of
Oh yeah.
Hawaii. Yeah, so everyone was freaking out, running around, and literally like the next communication, I forget the time span, like how long it took them to say it was a mistake. But it was definitely scary for the people, there because they're like, "What the hell is happening? Like, what you mean? There's a missile alert? Like, y'all about to blow the island up? Like, what's going on?"
So we have some other people here about the sleep paralysis you used to get it in their childhood home. Gina says they slept in a house where always felt like things were watching them when they sleep. And
Mm,
then saying, believe some of it in terms of sleep paralysis is spiritual. We have people with gifts in my family. I would say the same for my family too. If Hyla's a Shaniac, or more of the Shane skeptic, I'm a Ryan. So I would be a Bugara, which is like the
Bulgara.
Ryan fan club. Ryan's a believer. I believe I'm the one to believe, and just the sleep paralysis got me so scared that sometimes it's like it makes me question. He
I feel
says about
like,
the missile alert.
yeah.
Ooh, there's some tea there. Katrina,
Oh,
what
don't
about
believe.
you? What's your horror story
No, I was
that
just gonna
happened to you?
say, I only had sleep paralysis. I think one time that I can remember, and I was downstairs at my family home in the living room, sleep on the couch. It was a futon at the time, and I was asleep on my back. And for some reason, I woke up and the power was out, so it was pitch black. I couldn't move. And I was just like, what the hell is happening? Have I been kidnapped? What's going on? No one's making a sound. And then I just had to like ease back into like trying to calm myself down. And then as soon as I got like my limbs and my wits and all that stuff, I booked it up the steps so fast. I was like, Mom, why is the power out? I couldn't move. But I don't know. What's a My horror stories are always just like, because I'm the youngest, I got like teased by like my older sisters. So like the one is like she used to do like the Thriller dance, but she would
Mm-hmm.
do it in this super creepy way. I guess what makes me afraid of like seeing someone like losing like their mind or something like that. Because just looking at her like doing like the Thriller dance, and she would be with the big eyes, and it just freaked me out. Like I used to like open up the door and run outside to get away from her, like, "Ah," screaming. Um, but yeah, no, I don't have too many super scary stories. At least not like those. Those are scary.
It's such a wild thing to happen and it's weird because you think you're alone, but now I'm finding out a bunch of us have had sleep paralysis too. So
Hmm.
it feels, I guess, nice to not be alone, but also
Yeah,
like what is happening that we end up having sleep paralysis.
right.
Do we have gifts? Ooh, does magic exist and we're secretly mediums? Because I would be here for that.
I would be too.
I would love that. We have some other horror wrecks here. Deadly Manners podcast. It's more campy and like Clue. Nightlight podcast. Yes, Nightlight podcast is a good one. Black Women Are Scary is another good black horror podcast. The
Hmm.
Black Tapes is another horror podcast as well. Oh, here's something else we can talk about. Ouija boards. How do we feel about them, y'all?
I bought one accidentally, actually, and my mom just let me buy it.
How do you buy a Ouija board accidentally?
I can tell you the whole story. I was in Toys R Us. Maybe that's creepy. Maybe like a spirit was calling me or something. And I literally just went over to this Ouija board. I couldn't even pronounce it at the time. I was calling it like Ouija. I was like a Ouija board or a Ouija or whatever I was saying. And I was like, Mom, I really want it. I really want it. Like literally like begging her, could I have it? And she was like, okay, if that's what you want. And she let me buy it. But I never even opened up the box. I never used it. But I have no idea. Like at the time, I did not know what a Ouija board was. I did not know how to use it. But for some reason, I walked into that store. grabbed that Ouija board and said, "I want this right now. Give it to me." I don't know who I was supposed to talk to that day, but I didn't. I was like, "Nope, we not opening this up." After I figured out what it was, I said, "Oh no, I don't want to talk to nobody's spirit. I'm good."
Hmm.
I'm with teaser on that one.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Ouija boards, they're maybe let's screw up too
Mhm.
scary. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's
with Ouija boards, it's a matter of do they work or is it more of the power of suggestion? You
Mhm.
know, I wouldn't. I would just, regardless of if I believe in something spiritual or whatnot, I just also believe in don't put myself in situations that make my anxiety way worse than
yes,
it has to be.
yes,
Yes.
So
yes,
that's why I generally don't want to go and do a Ouija board or go into places that are supposed to be haunted because
Yeah.
I'm not trying to come out of that and then
yeah,
have sleep paralysis or
Yep.
anxiety or whatever. I
yeah,
already
Exactly.
have that
Right.
enough.
Already. Yeah. Nope. I don't need that
yeah.
either.
I went to Catholic school, so it's a no from me, dog.
Mhm.
No, like,
I went to Catholic school too, and I had literally, y'all. I do not know why I went to Toys R Us and picked up that Ouija board. I do not know. I lied to you. Not. I did. I don't. Need, I didn't even know what a Ouija board was. I was just like, yeah, I really want it. I really want it, and never opened it up.
So, hey Jay, I believe I have premonition gifts, but I try to run from it. So, ooh, girl. So we're gonna have
Wow.
to talk about some of these things if you're comfortable in
Yeah.
these ways. She said, so Ouija boards. I've heard they were super popular with some of our people in the 50s and 60s, but I don't want to invite any more spirits.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I agree. Nope.
I feel that. It's just a matter of why tempt, why play.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I'm with you on the. I'm already anxious. I don't need more
Mm-hmm.
anxiety.
Exactly.
Hmm. So we are almost at time. Almost been an hour. This time has flown by. I've been enjoying all of this horror content. So, do we have any other recs? Any other short stories we can tell? Any other things that we're looking forward to uh, reading or watching in the coming months?
I just want to give a shout out to you, Amanda, because we talked about vampires and werewolves, but we ain't talk about witches. I did finish To Alaris in Desperation, and it was really great, y'all.
Thank
Yes,
you.
she brought the damn. So I just want to
Amazing.
give you that shout out, girl, because this we can't leave horror without talking about To Alaris in Desperation.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
so much. I'm so glad you liked it.
Girl, I love
Um,
it. I cannot. You is there gonna be a book? Wait, you know what? I'm not gonna. You ain't announced nothing yet, so I'm not gonna push your buttons because I'm like, girl, that's not.
there will be a third book. I will announce. There's going to be a third
Yes!
and final book.
Announced it. Heard it here first. Gonna be a third book.
I can finally go rant and rave about certain characters with Katrina.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm all caught
Um,
up now.
I would say I'm excited about. There's this book. Yeah, Grady Hendrix's next book is called How to Sell a Haunted House.
Mm,
Ooh.
Comes out next summer, so
Mhm.
I'm excited about that because it feels like it's gonna be campy horror, and I live for it. Um, I know that I know what you did last summer TV show on
Mhm.
Amazon Prime, so I don't know if that's good or not. Definitely something to consider checking out.
Mhm.
What about y'all? Are you excited for anything?
recently, my friend is watching Lovecraft County right now, so
Oh
I,
yes.
I
Look
want to
at
start
that.
watching that.
Mhm.
So I'm looking forward to it because I've heard really really good things about it.
Yeah, that was really good. The only disappointing thing is that it didn't get renewed for a second season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ah.
Uh,
Thank you. Yeah, I would say Lovecraft Country is really good.
Mhm.
There's this book, I keep forgetting the name, something about crooked teeth. I'm gonna look it up because um, it is a horror.
Mhm.
I think it's in my list, my TBR list, and is supposed to be like Asian horror. Let's see here. Nothing
Asian
but blackened
horror.
teeth.
Asian horror is usually like amazing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the Asian horror films are the ones that have stuck with me.
So it's a book called Nothing But Blackened Teeth.
Mm.
That's on my list. We would be remiss if we did not mention Tanana Reeve Dew in any of her books. I
Hmm.
Sold to Keep is definitely one of the first ones I'm going to read. Um, Japanese and Korean horror is
Yes,
amazing.
yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Also, I don't know if y'all have heard, so I started a horror book club. It's called the
Ah,
Horror Ho
Oh,
Support Group. Um,
wait, horror hose.
Horror Ho Support Group.
Ah,
I love it.
I co-started it with
I
Samara
love
Hill,
that.
who is the co-founder of Fifth House Collective. So if
Mhm.
y'all want
Mhm.
to join, let me know. We have a Discord server. We're starting our first book tomorrow. It's Queen of
Yes,
Cockroaches, so
I
I
love
like
that
it.
horror hose support
Get with the winning team, Horror Ho Support Group.
group.
Yes, Tananarive Dew is amazing. I love the African Immortal series. Yes. Yes. All right, ladies, we are at time for our Halloween extravaganza mess. I want to join. Hit me up on Instagram, DM me. I'll send you the Discord link. And so, yeah, what a wonderful time this has been with the lit bitches. I always enjoy this. I look forward to it. So, ladies, where do you want to be found online so that people can follow you?
I am on. I've been posting on TikTok more, so you can follow me on there at K Gentle Right, and I'm also K Gentle Right on Instagram and Caribbean Blurred on Twitter.
Yes.
And what are you working on starting
Oh
tomorrow
my
with
god!
NaNoWriMo? Let's not forget our Nano
Yes,
plans.
starting tomorrow, I'm going to be attempting to finish the first draft of my epic fantasy novel titled Land of the Gods.
Yes.
I barely have an outline, but I've
It's
done more
okay.
with less,
Mm,
so we'll see.
You got this.
mm-hmm. Yes. Katrina Wednesday, Brooklyn Wednesday over here.
You can find me at Katrina Rice underscore on TikTok, Twitter, as well as Instagram. I'm on Facebook too, but not really active on Facebook. So just follow me on the other three.
Nice. And are you doing anything for Nano this year?
No, I really wanted to. I considered it, but I'm staying out of Nano this year. But I am still writing the sequel to Heavy is the Head, which is Kingdom Come. This is book two, the finale to the Heavy is the Head series. So yeah, just working on that, and so stick around. Hope you follow me.
Love it. So y'all can find me, Amanda the Author, 2 E's on Instagram and TikTok, and then Amanda the Author with 1 E on Twitter. I am doing Nano, because I'm a glutton for punishment. So I will be working on my dark fantasy book in the House of Transcendence. So if y'all want to follow me, go to the Nano site,
Mhm.
Amanda the Author with 2 E's there as well, and let's be friends. We can be accountability buddies. Because I know Kyla, I will be in your DMs like, girl, help me.
I God, I know you will. I
She's like
appreciate it.
bracing myself. Awesome. Well, everybody, have a good Halloween. Have the day's not over.
No,
Get
it is
into
not.
some safe, fun, legal mischief, right? Go trick or treating, watch some horror movies, dress up just
Mhm.
for the fun of it, enjoy the rest of this wonderful day, and we will catch y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.